world headquarters of Inline Insurance. I gotta be humorous sometimes, you know. Anyway, live from my beautiful office right here on the corner of Santa Rosa and Zamora Drive in Hazlet, Texas. And good to have you guys with us today. We've got a few people with us so far. We'll see how many more join us. Quite a few got registered, so I expect people to show up pretty quick. This is a new time. Obviously, we've got some California people on the call this morning. And, Dave, you got to sleep in a little bit today, didn't you? David Haas?
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's only 7 instead of 6 for a change. So that's got to feel a little bit better, huh?
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's definitely a more doable time of day.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I was more than happy to accommodate. You got some growth going on out there. I see Tasha's on the call this morning. A couple of the names here I don't recognize, but we'll find out who they are in just a minute. Well, this is the launch of our life insurance leads and sales training webinar. This is going to be every Monday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Pacific. We don't have anybody in Mountain Time. It's been coming, or I'd probably mention that too. But we've got plenty of people that come from those 3 time zones. We're going to be talking a lot in this webinar. You know, it's going to be some basics. It's going to be some product knowledge on specific products that really, you know, have a place in this market that you need to be looking at. We're going to talk about lead programs and some of the very basics that sometimes we overlook. Attendee list, Donald wants to know. Steven's here. Okay. Just a second. I don't know. I still get that little message pops up there every week. Yeah, let me fix that, Don, as I'm talking here. So, yeah, we're going to talk about some of the basics. Why? Well, number one, we've got people on here with all kinds of different skill levels, experience levels, and everything else. And sometimes, even those of us that have been around the business 28 years need to step back and take a look at how we're doing things and think about some of these basic principles of how we approach people, how we explain things, and what's really important about what we do, okay? It's not about the dollars. It's not about the sell. It's not about the commissions. It's about something else that we're going to talk about in a little bit. So this is our inaugural Monday morning call on life insurance leads and sales training. Now, first thing, here's what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to just spend a couple minutes every week just kind of popping in here, seeing who's here, why they call on you. Just be ready to talk to me. Don't be bashful. You know, be dialed in where you can speak up. And for instance, Chris Wolf. Chris, how you doing today? Chris, are you there? Hello, Chris. Okay, I guess Chris isn't set up to talk or is being bashful. How about Montrell McCord? Can you talk to me today? Montrell.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, why are you here today, and what are you looking to get out of this webinar?
Well, we'll see pretty much how UandIWIN does business, and see if I can use this platform to make some money.
All right. Hey, that's what it's all about. I mean, if we didn't want to make any money, we wouldn't be up and getting on this webinar, right? So anyway, we're going to hopefully get some activity and prospecting testimonials out of people that are using the lead system, whether it's the live transfer system or whatever that might be, prospecting and sales tips, and then questions and comments, and we'll wrap this up. Listen, I'm not one to have a webinar and talk just for the sake of talking. I'm not ever going to read you things that you could go read yourself. We're gonna get real about what is going to, like you said, Montrell, point you in the right direction to make you some money. Okay? That's what this is all about. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to be reminding you guys of this all the time, all right? You know, we kicked around a while back, and even the Wednesday webinar that we had going on the live lead transfers was an invitation-only webinar. If you were getting registered to sell live lead transfers, if you were plugged in and worked in the system, you got invited to that webinar. I'm making this webinar open to anybody and everybody within UandIWIN. Not just UandIWIN. If you've got somebody, say, another agent that you've been talking to, and you kind of like what's going on here, you know, obviously if you didn't like it, you wouldn't invite them, but, you know, and you're trying to get them interested in UandIWIN, invite them. Send them the registration link. Send them out to the calendar so they can get registered on this webinar. Let them see what we do and who we are and what we're all about. And maybe that might be the thing that makes them say, well, hey, I'd like to hook up with this bunch. Yeah, Dave.
Oh, hey, Kelly, I just wanted to, first of all, give my personal testimony on the live transfer leads. Excuse me. It's definitely the only lead program I've ever done that's actually got me talking to people in good amount of numbers. So I've done all lead programs in the past where you buy them, the internet-based leads, and 99% of the struggle with the lead programs out there, all of them, is you just can't get them on the phone. And then when you finally do get them on the phone, what you hear is, you're about the 14th caller I've got in the last 24 hours, agent trying to call me about insurance. I'm not interested, click. And the difference here is obviously, and I'll let you elaborate on this, that is your lead. That live transfer only goes to you because those people are picking up the phone and they get transferred after hitting one. Not 100% of them, are good leads, of course. There's going to be a lot of not so good ones, but you're at least talking to people. So I'm really excited about this program, and I've combined it with my personal marketing system, which is 1 to 2 hours a day of just marketing yourself. I've talked to different agents out here and trying to convey the difference between UandIWIN and everybody else is, you're building your own business here with this company. So long term, it's not even close what we do compared to what everybody else does, which is, most companies just want to get production out of you. UandIWIN wants to build your business. And I'm trying to convey that mentality, that difference. And that's why I've been with them since 2008. So just a little bit of testimony about what you guys are doing. And Kelly, I greatly appreciate all the webinars that you're doing to help us grow our business. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Well, I appreciate you speaking up, Dave. And again, this webinar, I don't want it to be all about Kelly talking all the time. We've got a lot of experienced agents out there and inexperienced that, maybe doing some things that I haven't even thought of trying. So, this is definitely going to be open. It's just like I don't run a strict hold all your questions till the end kind of webinar. You might get tired and not even want to mess with it by the end of the webinar. So by all means, pick up your hand anytime. Let me know what you got on your mind, and we'll talk about it. But here's the point I was getting at a while ago. Now, and you kind of touched on that, people about companies just wanting production out of you. I will say this. If you're coming to this webinar, you should expect that I'm going to have expectations of you. Obviously, if you want help and I'm good, either it's working or it's not, and I need to change something. So I'm kind of looking at my time and effort that I put into this as the only way I know how to judge it is to see what happens from the people that are coming to the webinar, right? So just expect me to have expectations of you, okay? Don't be offended if I'm wondering why you never produce anything, but you're on the webinar 6 months in a row. Because we have some people that do that. Now, that's fine. I understand. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it for the one person that comes here that takes something that we talk about and goes out and puts it to use and puts the money in their pocket. That's what it's all about. But what are your expectations? And you can raise your hand or type it in or whatever, and I'm going to keep on moving if nobody speaks up pretty soon, or I might just call on somebody. But what why are you attending the webinar, and what do you need in order to grow? Now, that's one thing, whether you communicate that with me right now, or it's something that when I send out the follow-up email at the end of this webinar, if you would reply back and just kind of let me know where you're at. What is your skill level? What is your, what is your knowledge and expertise level? And then what could I maybe do to help you along? Okay? I got 28 years in this business. I've just got a gift for teaching. I've got a gift for, helping people out. Thank the Lord. And for those of you who don't know, I'm also a cancer survivor. Throat cancer 2 years ago, and I've come through it, and I believe I'm here for a reason. And one of those reasons is continue to make sure, I'm going to share a little story with you guys in a little bit, okay? Because I think it's going to help you kind of see, and think about yourself. Maybe it'll open your eyes up to maybe your own situation, or help you find your own reason and get your focus in the right place. I'm going to tell you a little story about why I'm even here to begin with, okay? But I'll come back to that. Let's move on. Nobody stuck their hand up. I'm going to let you slide this time. Next Monday, come prepared for a few of you to throw your hands up at this point about why you're here, what you're getting out of this, what you'd like to get out of it, what would you like to see in the future even, okay? Now, I got a testimonial out of David Haas already. Who else would like to share their results, experiences, or challenges? And this isn't, I've got there, by the way, the complaint booth is closed, okay? Now, if you are having challenges with the actual system itself and not getting the number of transfers you think you should or something like that, that's something we need to address, but that's something we need to address and then see if it's a problem globally or just on your account or zip code. But that isn't the kind of things I want to talk about here. I want to talk about results, experiences, and challenges that you're confronting as you talk to people, as you get that prospect on the phone. What's working for you? What challenges are you having? Does anybody have any input there? Going once? I'll give you time, even if your hand comes up a little later. I'll still give you a little time. Yeah, Dave.
Oh, hey, I was just going to ask. It's more of a technical question about the challenges sometimes with the live transfer lead system, where, I guess maybe they just come to the territory, but sometimes I'll pick up the phone, the person's already hanging up, and then that counts as a transfer. But you got the caller ID, you call them back,
right? And
I guess it's just part of the business. I just wondered are you able to get any kind of lead credits on this system, or just part of the business, and we'll just have to deal with it?
Dave, I don't have an answer on the lead credit portion of that, but I can sure find that out, and I'll find that out before I send the follow-up email to this webinar. Jot me a note down here right now. But here's what I do know, is that has been an issue, okay? And it's been an issue not just for you, but for other people as well. So because of that, a couple of guys that have been working this system more than anybody else have been exploring other companies out there that might have that part of the system figured out a little better. And apparently they've come across one, 50 cents more per lead, but the drops are almost non-existent because it makes that connection faster.
So you say that's in the works right now, or we might actually use that company? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. That may be available to us maybe even this week.
That would be great.
Yeah, and then I'll look into that issue with credits as well, because, obviously, if you don't even get to say hi to somebody, how can we count that as a transfer, right? So, yeah, I'll address that as well and address it in the follow-up email.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Not right now, huh? Okay, I'll let y'all slide on this. Now, as we continue to go with these, I'm obviously going to expect more people. You know, my expectations are going to be a little greater of you to even participate in the webinar, all right? And I may just have to just call on people, but anyway. Now, prospecting tips. What better place? I mean, you know, I learned when I came into this business 28 years ago, one of the first things that I was taught was, and it has not changed one bit in 28 years, life insurance sales is 80% prospecting, 20% sales and product knowledge, okay? That hadn't changed. You guys know it, you're facing it, you're living it, you know it, okay? You can be the most knowledgeable life insurance person in the world, know every product, how they compare, every UL, which one fits this situation best, and if you aren't prospecting, you're dying. You need to be in another business, right? It's all about getting in front of people, which is why, you know, one big challenge we've had as an agency is, what are agents looking for? We've got great products, great comp plan, you know, training, good back office support, we've got all the pieces of the puzzle, except the one thing that agents don't want to go find on their own, that still need a little direction and they're looking for, and they chase other agencies for leads, right? They're looking for that deal where maybe if they say their leads are good, I'm going to get 30% less commission, but hey, they'll put me in front of people, right? And David Hoff can tell you how those deals work, as well as many other people on this call, which is why agents are here, right? They're looking for that. So one of the biggest challenges with a lead program that you promote and train agents on within an organization is having it be something that is financially where somebody can get into it without a huge investment, or you're cutting people out. Something that's very duplicatable, where I can tell you, this is going to happen, and here's how you do it, okay? One of the big challenges with internet leads, for instance, is, let's say you even pay top dollar, $28. You can go buy a life lead for $28 to $35 that they tell you is exclusive. You're the only one getting that internet life lead for $28 to $35 per lead. Does that mean that that's the only website? That's the only place they went to request information? How many times, if you're out shopping on the internet for, I don't know, a car part or, an element for your oven or whatever, do you go to one site and just buy it, or do you go to different sites? Well, people that are looking for life insurance quotes are hitting multiple sites. So just because you even pay for an exclusive lead, they may have hit 3 other sites that went to 5 or 6 agents apiece, and now you're lined up. You're in line. Can you sell them? Yeah, you can sell some, but personally, I've burned through a lot of cash trying to get that internet lead sitting there where, some of them you can turn it on and off where you're going to be sitting at the computer when that comes in. It hits my email. I'm on the phone, and they tell me, they answer and say, I'm on the phone with another agent right now. Or, like Dave said, you finally get an answer the next day, and you're the 15th agent that's called. Well, here's the thing about these live lead transfers. They're coming to you, and we're going to look at the script here just for basic term life insurance, so you see what they're hearing. But here's the thing, and one of the biggest mistakes in talking to agents that have been working the leads is And it happens it's been happening the whole 28 years I've been in the business too, right? What is the objective when you first make contact with a lead or a prospect, whether it's through referrals or face-to-face contact? You know, what is your objective when you first make contact? It's to get an appointment. Yeah, that could be right now. You know, when you get these live lead transfers, that appointment could mean that you're getting somebody right now that they come in there and tell you, you know, yeah, I heard that, and actually I think I might be paying too much. I got $500,000 with company XYZ, and I want to see if you can save me some money. Boom. Maybe we're talking right then, okay? But it's all about securing that appointment, whether it's right now, whether it's later, whether it's face-to-face. It's not to sell them right out of the gate. It's not to explain stuff to them. It's not to tell them what they should want. It's, even though they need some help figuring that out sometimes, right? So let's consider about how we open that dialogue with this live lead transfer. Generated with this is the basic term life approach. This is the recording. So they answer their phone, and it says, hello, I'm calling about a major reduction in life insurance costs. If you need life insurance or you would like to pay less for the coverage you now have, please listen. A major company is now offering rates so low that in this economic crunch, you'd be crazy to pass up this free quote engine. You can request more information or a free quote through this telephone system at no cost or obligation. You may press 9 for our no-call list, but for details. So here's why they're clicking 1. For details on affordable life insurance, please press 1 now. That's what they hear. They press 1, your phone rings, and hopefully it gets transferred fast enough that they don't give up. Okay, and again, Dave, we're working on that. I'm not working on it, but other people are working on it, and we're going to be the beneficiaries of it. That's what they're told. That's why they pressed 1. Now, then the question is, do I know why they pressed 1? Do I know what's on their mind? What makes this person click? What makes them tick? Why did they press 1? That's what I got to know. So, given that script right there, given that that's what they heard, what are the potential positive outcomes? Because I got to know what outcome I'm looking for before I think about what I'm going to say when I open my mouth. What am I trying to accomplish out of what I say to them? 1 of 3 things, right? And this is it. I'm not trying to teach them anything. I'm not trying to sell them, right? Which is what too many agents try to do. Here's the potential positive outcomes. Gather information right now for a comparison quote or for an amount that they've been considering. Now, and again, if somebody tells me, if I take this call and I say, hello, this is Kelly Inline, and tell them who I am, and I'm just real quick get to a question of, let me ask you, Bob, why did you press 1 today? I'm going to find out. Maybe they're going to tell me, what are the potential things they're going to say? Well, I'll tell you, I've got a $500,000 policy that I'm paying X amount of dollars for, and I just wanted to see if I can save some money on it. Now, that's where this first thing would come in, is gather information right now for a comparison quote. My next question at that point is, do you have time for me to gather a little information right now, and I'd be happy to provide that for you? Sure, let's do it. Or schedule a time to call back to fact find and gather information, or schedule a face-to-face meeting. that's my preferable way. If I, because I can build a client much better, make them a client, not just make a sale. I can make them a client much better if I get face to face. I'm a personable kind of guy. I can warm up to people. I can get to know them. If I walk in their house, I really get to figure out what's important to them by the pictures on the wall, by, I see things like maybe they've got fishing decor, so now we got something in common to talk about because I love to fish, or I see the Bible sitting there or whatever it is. So if I'm there, so what makes more sense? Should I try to just make a quick sale as fast as I can, as efficiently as possible, and try to get that sale over the phone, online, never sit down face to face with anybody? Or should I try to work leads that are in my geographical area and meet with them face to face and increase the chances that I can make a connection with them, make them a client for life, get referrals from them, get to know other people in their neighborhood? That's really where you should be trying to get. But in this day and age, with the technology where it is, we've got the capability to do the sale totally online and on the phone. I'll do that. Okay. If that's what they prefer, let's get busy. But let's go back up here. Gather information right now. Even though they tell me, well, Kelly, I've got $500,000 with Allstate, and I just wanted to see, this said I might be able to save some money. Okay. Well, Bob, how did you settle on that amount? $500,000. Who knows what they're going to say, right? But I want to know I still want to know why that amount and what is it for? Now, why do I want to do that? When I give them the price, I don't want objections. I don't want them to tell me why they don't want to do it. I want to know up front what's important to them and why they need life insurance and where their head is, not what I tell them what they need, right? But what they tell them. Now, this isn't to get in a big, lengthy dialogue to try to convince them right here and now that, well, maybe you don't have enough. Maybe that does come up. But that next bullet there is something else I learned many years ago. Sell them what they want, make them a client, then sell them what they need, right? Now, we've got agents. I know Jeff Williams. Jeff is fired up right now about Index UL. We got other agents that are as well. I love Index Universal Life. I've got the potential to close a $10,000 monthly premium with a guy. Long story. I'll share it with you one of these days. But I've got one of those working. I love Index UL. I think, is it right for everybody? No, it's not right for everybody. But, this scenario I just mentioned right here, if you got somebody that they tell you, I've got a $500,000 term policy with Allstate, and I wanted to see if you could beat the price on it, I'm going to do that first and foremost, right? Now, in the discussion, as I go to close it, as I go to show him that I can beat it, and here's what we can do, we might discuss more options at that point, or maybe let's just get this policy in place and get him insured, take care of what he wants, and then explore what he needs, right? Then, when he's a client, maybe he'll be more open to listening about how he might save for retirement, if he's a prospect for that. Maybe he'll be more open to let me look at his health insurance and maybe how we can fill some of the gaps with critical illness insurance. But sell them what they want, make them a client, then sell them what they need. So I'm not, I can talk to somebody and help them discover needs they didn't even know they had as good as anybody out there. But if I've got somebody wanting a quote for a specific thing today, let's take care of it. All right? Then I've got plenty of time in the future to address other needs with this person. I want to make him a client today or as soon as I can. So there's your three potential outcomes, positive outcomes. Not to make a sale right now, not to, but to either get information right now for a comparison quote, schedule a time to call back to fact find and gather that information, or schedule a face-to-face meeting. If you try to get ahead of that, if you try to sell these people on the phone on the initial contact, you're going to lose them. You're going to end up chasing them. They'll finally agree at the end of a lengthy conversation where you try to tell them what they want, and they'll end up saying, yeah, give me a call, and then they won't answer the phone again. Okay? Any of you have that happen? I know some of you have had it happen, but at least some that are on the call, right? Maybe one that's not on the call that I've talked to a lot recently. Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, I was just going to follow up on what you were just touching on, and it's been working. I've been walking into the appointments, and I have the IUL and the term, pilot quotes, out in front of me, like a few different options. And I get the idea over the phone, or if I'm doing the face-to-face marketing, I'll kind of ask them, what do you think you're looking for in terms of coverage? So what I do is I walk into the appointments, and I show them both the IUL and the term. And I think it was Natasha I was talking to a couple of weeks ago over a coffee. I said, the best kind of salespeople that I personally like to deal with myself are waiters and waitresses. Why? Because they're sitting there with their pen and paper listening to what you want. They show you the menu, you pick what you want, you tell them what you want, and then they write it down and go get it for you. And I really personally feel a waiter or waitress, sometimes I really feel this way, would be better in sales as an insurance agent than a lot of insurance agents that I meet. Because it's not about you talking, it's about you, listening. So, giving them the choice of IUL or term has been working pretty well for me lately, because, they always pick something, versus you just trying to sell one thing. So you show your menu, and they're gonna pick something that they want, and you just go ahead and give it to them. So it wasn't real critical I comment on this, but I just wanted to just kind of throw that out there to see if that lines up with how you're running your appointments. Is to give these people choices, and that's all I was trying to find out from you. Is that what you do?
Okay. And as a matter of fact, yes. Here's the thing. And we're gonna get into actual presentations and everything. We're gonna build on this, obviously, but we're out there selling right now. So I'll be happy to address questions that are further into the sales process. If a person qualifies financially, I'm not going to show an index UL to somebody that just I have discovered in my fact finding that their budget is so tight that they're going to have to make a commitment to even get a term policy. Why even show them an index UL? But if I've got somebody that we determine, we take a look at all their needs, and we come up with a dollar amount of $1.2 million in life insurance, right? I've actually got a neighbor that's the number we've hit on. So $1.2 million life insurance. We haven't discussed products or anything else, but I know from talking to him what his income is, what what his bills look like, and everything else. This is a guy that could afford an index universal life, or maybe a combo, maybe $500,000 index UL with $700,000 a term. You know, there's different ways you can do this. So going into a presentation with somebody that does have the financial capability to pay for either policy, yes, I will definitely give them an option between an indexed UL and a term life. It's even good to show them, if it is just going to be term insurance, take them 3 term quotes that are, you know, nowadays you can look at some people, if they're healthy, there might be $1.20 difference between 3 companies, but they go, yeah, well, I've heard of that company. I'd rather go with that company, even though it's 37 cents a month more. I mean, seriously, I've had people say that. So, yeah, one thing is when you give them options, then it's easier to ask them which one they want versus just laying one down and do you want this or not, right? Now it's which one do you want, not do you want it. And, of course, they've already told me they want it or I wouldn't be there, right? Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if that's how you're running your life insurance appointments. Because, like I said, it seems like when you give them the choices, it empowers them. They feel you're not bullying them into something that you're trying to sell them. You just give them a menu and you let them pick what they want. And like I said, the waiter or waitress, you're kind of invisible. You want to be just kind of out of the way, there to serve them, help them, and that's it.
Yeah, you got it. You're right on it. So there's what we're looking for. Now, how do we get to that? How do we get focused on? How do we get that appointment? Right? How do we get that either opportunity to quote some right now, a time set to call them back that would be convenient for both of us? Hey, it's got to be convenient for me too. If you try to make it all totally about them, then it takes away some of that. You need to let them know that your time is valuable as well. And if you do, you're also more likely to get them back on the phone. But how do we get to that? We have to keep this in mind. And I talked about this on Friday on the webinar. Okay? Is what's it really about? Is it about premium, space amount, saving money with an index UL? No. Life insurance is about loving someone enough to make sure that any or all of these, right? Kids get to stay in their house. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago on one of the webinars. In our community here, I live in a master plan community with schools in the neighborhood and all that. You see these all over the country nowadays. And there was just a father of 8. I only have 6 kids myself, 8 with stepchildren, but this guy, these were all his. Wow. Anyway, father of 8, in his 40s, died in a car accident. No life insurance. None. Man, I just wish I would have met him, before this happened, obviously. But how does somebody not have any life insurance and have all those kids? It's because they haven't come across you or me or somebody that helped them see how important that is and how inexpensive it is. Pennies on the dollar. You can make sure that the kids stay in their house. These kids are out of that house. They're gone. They're out of the neighborhood. Dreams for education and something for those 8 kids. I don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, this guy made good money, and he's gone. Make sure the bills get paid. They've got people that are helping them out, but that ain't going to last forever, I mean, gosh, it's terrible. So we have got to keep our focus on what this is really about. It's not about making a sale. It's not about the premiums. It's not about the face amount. It's not about, can we show them a way to save money on their taxes in retirement. It's about life insurance, okay? It's about loving somebody enough to make sure that whatever's important to them. Now, I can list all these things to somebody, and I will. That's part of the fact-finding process, because some people will tell you, I don't know how much I need. You tell me, you're the insurance guy, how much do I need? We're definitely going to go through this. But if somebody asks me for a specific amount or tells me, one of the things you hear when you get them on the phone is, well, Bob, why did you press 1 today? Well, my wife and I have been talking about that we need some life insurance, but we just didn't know who to talk to, so I thought I'd take a look at this. Oh, okay. Well, great. Well, I'm glad you did, and I've got plenty of experience in helping people with that. So tell me, why do you think you need life insurance? I want them to tell me, okay? It's one thing for me to tell them why they need it, and maybe some of that's important to them, and maybe some of it isn't, I used to tell people years ago, when I first started in the business, sitting there at the kitchen table way before you could do apps online, I used to tell people all the time, one of the main reasons, I want to make sure I've got enough life insurance where my wife doesn't have to go out and pick the first guy that's making a paycheck to take care of her, or she can at least be picky on the next guy, right? I mean, just lighten it up a little bit, but seriously, that's what it's about. It's not about dollars. It's about what's important to somebody. So if I don't know, if I can get them to tell me what's important to them, I have a much better chance of making sure that they have what they need. Because it's going to be their reasons. And then I can help them see a solution, whether that be term or index UL or whatever that might be. I can help them find a way to get what is important to them taken care of. Now, I told you I was going to share a little story with you. I'll do that real quick. There might be one person on this call that's heard this before. But over the years, as I've talked with training in life insurance, I've shared this with people. I was in the Marine Corps for 7 years, and I got out, started college. I don't know why, didn't have any family background or anything, but I was interested in finance and maybe get into, some type of become a stockbroker or a financial manager or something. I don't even know why that interested me, because I was a broke-ass Marine. Came from poor family, but anyway, that interested me. Middle Tennessee State University in Murfreesboro, Tennessee had an insurance minor that you could take. So that was a little interesting to me as well. I thought, well, hey, maybe that's a way to break into, be some executive home office kind of guy in one of these big towers downtown Nashville or anywhere, Atlanta, Detroit, you name it, right? That's kind of my goal. I wasn't planning on being a salesman, And during that time, as I was nearing the end of my degree, I got an internship in an agency. I got my insurance license. I got an internship in a P&C agency to be a life insurance agent for them. So they were going to work with me to approach their prospects. We had a contract. I was going to make a certain percentage. They got a little percentage of it for, providing their client database for me to prospect from. It was a pretty good situation. My second week there, as I was getting out of the car one morning, the receptionist meets me at the door and said, Kelly, your wife just called and your father died. Wow. Well, my dad was a rough old guy. He was an alcoholic, ended up with brain damage. At 39 years old, he went into a VA hospital. This is a sad old story. My parents divorced when I was in 4th grade. And the last 4 or 5 years of his life, he lived in a VA nursing home. Very simple-minded, had serious brain damage from just a massive amount of alcohol abuse. And, I go visit him, and it was just, wasn't like Dad, right? But it was, anyway, this was still my dad. Now, we were from a little town in southern Kansas called Anthony, Kansas. So I go up there, head up to Anthony to go put my dad to rest, right? And during a period of his soberness, my dad had worked for Modern Woodman. Somebody he met at AA was a manager with Modern Woodman Life Insurance. And my dad was a selling son of a gun back then. I remember at one point he had 3 jobs, and one of them was selling fire alarms and smoke alarms and fire extinguishers door to door. And this guy could sell stuff good. Well, so I've got people approaching me from little towns and farm communities all around Anthony telling me about how my dad sold them life insurance, and because of that, they got to keep the farm when Dad died. It's still in the family because of that life insurance my dad sold. My dad had 0 life insurance. It had gone by the wayside, whatever he had bought. My dad had nothing. He had 2 boxes of belongings and $237 to his name. I'm in college with 4 kids, and I don't know why they even did it, but the Bank of Anthony, Kansas gave me a loan to bury my father. Yeah. Well, wasn't that nice? So I did it. My sister said they'd try to help out and pay it, and that's the end of my relationship with my dad. Well, I had just got in the life insurance business. That 14-hour drive back to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, all I could think about was, I can't make sure everybody's dad has insurance, but by gosh, I'm going to make sure lots of dads have insurance. I have, over the years, been on trips all over the world, all over the country, as a manager with agents that sold a lot of insurance, as a personal sales agent at the top of companies, because I was driven to make sure lots of dads had it. As I became a manager, I thought, great, now I can teach, now I can spread my footprint, right? I can take what I know and what I've experienced and what I do, and I can teach David Haas and Natasha and other people, and they can go out and make sure more dads have it, right? That has driven me for years and years and years. And then I almost lost my life, I had a brush with, I don't know that I was closer to dead, not from the cancer, but from the treatment. And I've come out of it now, and now I've got a new fire and energy. It's there again. I want to help agents help other people, as well as help all the people I can myself. So what's your reason? Why are you doing this? Obviously, you don't necessarily have a story like that, but what's your reason for being in this business. And if you need something, you can borrow my reason if you want to, but get the focus in the right place, and everything else will work itself out, because people will understand who you are and why you do this, and that you're trying to help them. You're not just trying to make a commission. You're not just trying to make a sale, okay? That's what it's all about. That's why people buy insurance, is these reasons right here. So if you keep that in mind, and you keep your focus on talking to them about what's important to them instead of telling them what's important to them, telling them why they need it, telling them they need an indexed UL, telling them, you know, kind of goes back to what you're saying right there, is you give them the options, you take the order. Well, that's kind of what we're talking about here. But it's an emotional sale. It's not about dollars and cents. Okay? Any questions or comments? Lead program, product questions, company questions? This is what we're going to do, guys. I mean, this is where this webinar is headed. We're not going to talk about the same thing all the time. And this recording is going to be out there if you want to share it with other people or go back and listen to it yourself. But, you know, we're going to move on through the sales process. I want to talk about, you know, issues that we're facing with these leads. I have not been working this live lead transfer system, but I'm starting this week. Next Monday, I'm going to have my results to talk about, okay? I'm going to be able to tell you, here's what they said, here's what happened. Maybe I don't know how to deal with it, okay? But you're going to hear from me the kind of feedback that I'm getting personally, okay? There's my name, my telephone number. Jot that down, my email address. You're going to get emails from me anyway, so you're going to have it. But contact me if you have any questions. If you want to know how to get set up on the lead program, contact me. If you are on it and you've been having challenges and you want to talk about that, contact me. If you don't want to work this lead program and you want other ideas for prospecting, contact me, okay? You kind of get what I'm saying? Contact me. Are past recordings from the webinars available? Now, we used to have, you know, this is something actually was on my mind this morning, Don, was we used to have a lot of archives on the website, and now when you go to archives, let's just take a look at it. Just because I want you guys to get real familiar with the website if you're not already. Under training, archives training, right? You got to log in, and now it just shows UandIWIN training archives, and they're on the YouTube channel. Well, gosh, I had so much life insurance training on product, on process, on fact finding, on everything out here already, you know, that you used to be able to just do a drop down and go to those. I've got to figure out where those are at and how I can get them converted if we're just going to have the YouTube channel. And that's something I got to work with Brent on. If it's all going to be out on the YouTube channel, then I want to get some other stuff converted and get it out there. Okay. So that's kind of where we're at. Is we've got some of these. There's the one from Friday. I'll be doing this one, converting it right after the webinar, and it's going to be out there. You're going to get a follow-up email with a link to this in case you want to share it with somebody else or go listen to the parts of it again yourself, and then we'll continue to do that. And then in the meantime, I'll work on, you know, getting those, maybe somehow getting something on the website to link up to the old archives as well. Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, I was just going to say I appreciate you sharing your they didn't know that about your dad and the story about life insurance. That was pretty moving, actually, and I appreciate you sharing that. I also just wanted to touch on, you know, why be an agent who sells insurance for you, because it's important, obviously, for the client, and you've made that abundantly clear. But how I look at the UandIWIN opportunity is it's an opportunity for people to solve their financial problems in a unique way that they're just not going to be able to do anywhere else. So I'd recommend any agents on this call, every time you see an agent's business card lying somewhere, if you're in a coffee shop or wherever, just pick up the card, because agents are looking, okay? The whole purpose of UandIWIN is to create financial independence. That's what we all want. That's why we're in the business. So life insurance is a win-win. You're helping bless the families and the clients tremendously just by selling it to them, but you're blessing yourself because of the tremendous commission. So it's a win-win for everybody. And I just want to kind of throw that out there. All right? So thanks for sharing, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I was looking through some videos last night. The biggest marketing organization in North America is Primerica. And how did they do it? They done it through recruiting people and doing that. They were looking for people that wanted to make an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month, part-time. So I'm not saying just go after part-time people, but you know what? You got to start somewhere, and you may be talking to a client or you may be talking to that insurance agent, and they're not making that $1,000 to $2,000 a month. So
exactly. Yeah, and to kind of good segue there, guys. You kind of open it up for what I wanted to close with, which is making sure that everybody knew about our Friday webinar and what we're going to be talking about on that. The Friday webinar is the weekly business meeting. Okay, that's what it's meant to be. That's what we kind of go back and forth between training and different things, but that's a Friday business meeting, and it needs to be focused on growing your business. So one thing we had gotten away from, which had kind of hurt the organization a little bit, is we stopped recruiting. We stopped looking for new people. We, as an organization, we did, which you can't do, not in this crazy business. So, we've got some things going now where I've started a method of recruiting. Dan Hagee has started a different method. We're going to see what kind of results we get, how we can duplicate and replicate that through other agents. That's going to be a lot of what we're talking about on the Friday call. There's going to be a couple people on this Friday's call that came from my recruiting efforts that I just started last week. And actually one of those is going to be a part-time guy. He's going to be somebody that's going to start out part-time and hopefully get to a place where he can leave what he's doing and do this full-time, hopefully sooner rather than later, right? And I want to help him do that. So anyway, the Friday call, weekly UandIWIN business meeting. What we're going to address on that is just what's going on within the company. Are there any things out there that you need to be aware of within the carriers, products? Highlight some products that are in UandIWIN other than life insurance, and talk about building your business and what that can mean to you financially, just like what Dave was talking about. So, yeah, we are definitely going to be doing that. Make sure you get registered on that webinar as well. And, yeah, I look forward to hearing from you guys. If you're, again, I'm not going to bug people, chase you down, or anything else. Don't get the wrong idea. Just because you came to this call, Kelly's not going to be calling you saying, why aren't you doing it? No, nothing like that. Just know that I expect you to know that I have expectations of you. You want help? I'll do anything I can to help you. You guys, those of you who've been around, ought to know that by now. And so, yeah, just let me know. Call me, email me. You will always hear back from me no later than 24 hours. I'm a busy son of a gun, but I promise you, whether you're my upline or not, my downline or not, you will hear back from me. David Haas can account for that as well. Okay, guys, have a good day, a great week. God bless y'all. We'll talk to you on Friday.